Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Today, my name is Tony Videla, and this is my speech on smoke-free. It's not a fad, it's a way of life. Here's my audience, my camera person. These are my note cards. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. You've all been chosen because you are all smokers or know someone that is a smoker. That is the sound I used to hear every morning from my grandfather, who was a smoker of 2 to 3 packs a day. Now, my grandfather, God rest his soul, loved his cigarettes. Who could blame him? I loved them too. A lot of people do. Why is that? Oh, we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the long-term effects of cigarettes on your body. And we're going to talk about the cost of, medical care. We're also going to talk about the benefits of quitting and the various methods of doing so effectively. Let's get started. I smoked for many years, and I quit for many years. I've gone back and forth on it. My method for quitting was cold turkey, basically. For some reason, though, it just never seemed to stick with me. I always found myself starting up again. Accidentally, of course. It was never intentional. It just kind of happened. So, what was I doing wrong? What was pushing me back to smoking? Well, I did some research, and this is what I found out. There's an article on Women's Health magazine online that tells me that 5 minutes and 10 puffs is the average life of a cigarette. And in that time, you're inhaling about 4,000 chemicals. But all you know is that you're inhaling that cigarette, right? Still remember it. Goes in your mouth, down your throat, into your lungs, into your bloodstream, and then up into your brain, where it signals dopamine to start being produced, and you get that euphoric feeling of high. And then it's gone. That's 10 seconds. And then you want more, thus signaling an addiction. But what happens in your body is a little bit different. Your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate goes up, your risk for stroke goes through the roof. Now that's the short-term problems that you're going to start seeing. The long-term effects are that chemicals that you're inhaling, those 4,000 chemicals that I talked about, they start building up in your system. And every time you have another cigarette, you're adding more chemicals over and over and over. They start building up, and they start changing your body, the cells inside your body. The American Cancer Society has several articles on their website. They talk about the different illnesses that you can get. One of the more common types is one called COPD. Now, that's a general term. It's chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. There's 2 different illnesses that can be classified under that. One is emphysema, and the other is chronic bronchitis. I have chronic bronchitis all the time. Several times a year, I'm at the doctor's office getting cough syrup with codeine because I have chronic bronchitis. I have a cough that gives me laryngitis. And I'm sick of it. Tired of it. Why am I always sick? Well, because I'm constantly susceptible to illness. And I found out that's because I'm smoking. I'm reducing my resistance to being sick, or increasing my risk. Some of the other illnesses that you can get that are a little bit more severe are mouth cancer, from all those chemicals passing through your mouth, lung cancer, where it gets into your lungs, you're exposing your lungs, which are meant to keep you breathing, to these chemicals and the nicotine and the tar and all of that disgusting stuff, which you don't think about when you're taking that drag off your cigarette. You can get more information at the Mayo Clinic, just in case you're interested. One thing you might be wondering, oh, what does this have to do with me if you don't smoke? Well, what if you have a loved one that smokes? Maybe you want to try to help them. Maybe you don't. Maybe, you know, they're happy with the way their life is. Which I can understand that, because being a, well, reformed smoker, I used to be like, well, I'm not bothering anybody. I'm hurting myself. So why should I care? Well, now I understand why. The problems with smoking and exposing others to smoking, it builds in so much that every time you have a cigarette and you're in a room where other people are, whether they smoke or not, you're helping them smoke, and you're exposing them to the same chemicals that you're exposing your own body to. So you're in fact making them smoke too, which isn't fair to them. But even if you don't do that, even if you go outside and you're away from them, then they're going to have to take care of you when you get older, because you are harming yourself to do it. So let's talk about ways that you can quit if you go down that road, just in case. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, even if it's 10, 15 years down the road. There are some great alternatives to smoking. One of them would be, you can choose to quit by cold turkey, which is not the greatest method, but it does work for some people. Let's say the problem that you have is that you have to be doing something with your mouth. So try chewing gum. They have Nicorette gum, which is a great alternative, and you can do it inside the building that you work at, in your home, and you're not exposing anybody to anything. So that's a great alternative. If you are forgetful and you never remember to bring that gum with you wherever you go, you can try the patch. Just put it on your arm once a day, and you're good to go. Well, let's say the patch doesn't stay on because you sweat too much. Okay, fair enough. I know some people are like that. So let's say you want to try the nasal spray. That anytime you want to have a cigarette, you don't want to chew gum because you don't like to chew gum, just squirt or inhale. It's one of the two things. I can't remember. That's all you have to do. Just squirt or inhale instead of having a cigarette. It gives you that dose of nicotine and you're good to go. Okay? Let's say no one likes to have something up their nose or likes to squirt anything down their throat. Still a good thing. Here's what I did. I took a medicine called Shantin. It's 1 pill twice a day. You smoke while you take it. In a week or 2 weeks or even 3 weeks, it helps your brain trick itself into thinking you don't want a cigarette. I haven't had a cigarette in 8 months, and I don't want one. And I'm happy with that. And, you know, you gotta do what's right for you. But do what's good for you, and let your family support you. Let your friends support you, and let them know that you want to do this for what's, do what's good for yourself. So I can't change your minds for you. I can only give you information. I hope that you've listened to at least a little bit of what I had to say, and I hope that you didn't take any offense. Thank you all for coming, and I hope that you've gotten just a little bit of information, the short-term effects, the long-term effects, and you know where to go to get more. Thank you. Have a great day. Tell the audience.